Welcome back, everybody, to the Baltimore Orioles franchise here on MLB The Show 21. Today we kick off the second half of the season. Last episode we went over the All-Star break. We did the Home Run Derby, which of course we had Louis St. John and Lenny Lane participate in. If you missed that episode, make sure to check it out. I won't spoil it in case you want to see it. So we're in a good spot here entering the second half of the season in a very tight race in the American League. We're 5.5 games ahead of the Blue Jays for first place in the East. And then in the West, we have the Astros and the Angels right on our wavelength as well. I think it's a four-way race for the top of the AL. I do think Toronto is pretty much as good as us, the Angels and the Astros, especially with their recent acquisitions of Max Kepler and Ramon Laureano. The American League is a lot more top-heavy than the NL, but the NL has a tighter wild card race, and I think there's more teams fighting for playoff spots. Obviously, our team has played some great baseball this season so far. We had 4 All-Star starters in Adley Rutschman, Lenny Lane, Louis St. John, and Nick Castellanos, all very well deserving. And then in the bullpen, we had Edwin Diaz and Will Brooks both make it. Also, both of them were very deserving. But I do feel like Brusdar Graterol, who in my opinion has been not only our best reliever, but our best pitcher overall this season, was snubbed. I was surprised to see him not make it, especially with Brooks and Diaz both in. But I'm not going to complain about it too much. Nonetheless, our lineup is in a good spot. Our starting rotation, our bullpen, they're all in a good spot. Although we will certainly look to make some additions once we get closer to the trade deadline. But before that, we do have a big 3-game series to kick off the second half of the season against the Houston Astros, who are the only team in baseball who have a better record than us. And statistically, these have probably been the 2 best teams in the major leagues this season. So it should be a fun 3-game set, and it should be a nice little test here for the Orioles as we get closer to the trade deadline and assess what this team needs to try and get over the hump. This is game 1 of said 3-game series. I wanted to get a look at Matthew Thompson, who will be starting for the Orioles today. Regular starters here for both lineups. With the All-Star weekend being done, everyone is pretty much refreshed for the second half of the season. So here is Thompson, who of course replaced the injured Max Meyer in the rotation. Thompson, through his first start, has been pretty good. Hopefully he can pick it up here today against a very talented Astros lineup that features Jose Altuve, who is leading things off, going down for the drag bunt, and it works like a charm. Infield single for Altuve to start off the ball game, and the Astros quickly have a runner aboard. One away here for the All-Star, Yordan Alvarez, who grounds it right to second. Orioles trying to turn 2, and they do. A 4-6-3 double play goes down the Astros, and a pretty good first inning here for Matthew Thompson. On the bump for Houston today will be righty Jose Urquidy, making his 19th start of the year. And he's been solid, an ERA right below 4. He does have a pretty low whip, so all in all, a pretty solid season from him so far, as Shed Lawn leads things off. He hits this one into the right center gap that gets past the glove of the center fielder, likely for extra bases. A double to start off the inning here for Shed Lawn, who, of course, with him being a free agent at the end of the season, has a lot to play for these final couple of months if he wants a new contract. Louis St. John now, the Home Run Derby champion. Spoiler, in case you missed it. He flies out to right. That'll end the inning, caught by Kyle Tucker. So the Astros do get out of the inning, and now we jump into the second. A missile into right center field. That'll put the Houston Astros on the board as they lead 1-0. A solo shot for Brandon Nimmo, his 12th of the season. And Houston is now aboard. So a big home run there for Nimmo off of Matthew Thompson as we transition to the bottom of the second. Nick Castellanos leads things off, gets this one past the glove of the shortstop for a base hit. So just like the first inning, the Orioles start the inning with a base runner. We'll see if they can capitalize. Ryan Mountcastle, who has had a great season despite not being named an All-Star, grounds it right to short, and the Astros turn a double play of their own. So far, both teams have not been great with runners on base today, particularly the Orioles, as we go to the third. Jose Altuve, who had a bunt single earlier, goes down on the slider. Nice strikeout for Matthew Thompson, who through 3 innings is doing pretty well, minus the home run hit by Brandon Nimmo in the second. We'll hop to the bottom of the third now, see if the Orioles can get on the board as Xavier Bowman hits this one nicely into center field for a single. So Bowman is now aboard to start the inning. And just like the first two frames, the Orioles open up the inning with a base runner. We'll see if they capitalize. Bowman is now on second. Count is 2-2 with 2 away for Adley Rutschman, who hits this ball high, deep into right center field. Back at the track, it's gone! 2-run shot for Adley Rutschman, his 17th of the year, and the 4-time All-Star will put Baltimore ahead as they lead this one 2-0. Great swing from Rutschman, who is well on his way to reach his career high in homers here in 2025. Miles Straw leads off the top of the 4th for the Astros, and he draws a walk, so early on, Houston gets a base runner, and that'll bring up the All-Star, Yordan Alvarez, who crushes this one into right center. You can forget about it. 2-run shot for Alvarez, and the Astros are right back on top. Home run number 29 on the year for Alvarez, which is 3rd in the major leagues, only behind Baltimore's very own Louis St. John and Lenny Lynn. So Houston pretty much says, what you can do, I can do better with a 2-run homer of their own, but it doesn't look like they are done here. Scott Murray III now hits this one beautifully into the gap for a double. Matthew Thompson so far is getting rocked here in this 4th inning, and the Orioles need to get out of this jam because so far this inning has been a struggle. Murray now on 3rd, 1 away for McNeil, who grounds it to 1st. Sixto throws it home, but nobody went home, so Rutschman throws it to 1st and gets the out. So a strange play there, but I guess it worked out. Nobody scored, Baltimore got the out. I guess that could have gone a lot worse. With 2 away now, Corey Lee will walk on the low and outside curveball. So now there's a pair of runners on here for J.P. Crawford, who strikes out. A big K to end the inning for Matthew Thompson. That'll probably end his day. 4 innings, 3 earned. Not his best performance, but I guess not his worst either. Let's move forward here to the bottom half of the inning. Louis St. John leads things off for the O's, and he's going to draw a walk. That was a tempting pitch to swing at. It was full count, but a little bit low, and St. John makes the wise decision to let that one go by. So that'll now bring up Nick Castellanos, who gets his 2nd hit of the game, a single into center. St. John thought about going 3, but he holds up at 2nd. In all 4 innings today, the leadoff batter for the Orioles has gone on. I just realized that. Pretty wild. So now there's 2 on for Mountcastle, who takes a big swing and a miss. A huge strikeout there for Jose Urquidy as he looks to get out of this jam. 1 away now for Carmen Sixto, and he's going to ground this one to 3rd. The Astros have a nice shot to get out of the jam, and they do. A 5-4-3 double play. Despite allowing the first 2 runners to reach base, Urquidy gets out of it, and it remains 3-2. The Orioles are going to look to get multiple innings out of their first-time All-Star Will Brooks, who's been used as the long reliever this season. 61 innings and 26 appearances, and he has been damn good, hence why he was named an All-Star. With 1 away, Altuve grounds it right to him. A great defensive play there by Will Brooks, lunging over to grab the baseball and record the out at first for the 2nd of the inning. And then Miles Straw hits this one to right, caught pretty easily by Heston Kjerstad, who has been playing quite well since he returned from his injury, might I add. A 1-2-3 frame there for Brooks, but I think the Orioles are going to look for more innings than just 1 out of him. Xavier Bowman opens up the bottom of the 5th. That one barely stays in the yard for a double, and you can make that 5 straight innings in which the Orioles lead off with a base runner, and they have been unable to capitalize in 3 out of those 4 innings, so they need to take advantage here. Heston Kjerstad is the very next batter. Full count pitch. Gets one hanging up and away in the zone for a single into right field. Bowman decided to play it safe. He waited at 2nd until it dropped, so now he is at 3rd, and from there the Astros make a pitching change. Urquidy will be taken out of the game and is replaced by the long reliever Zach Wheeler. The veteran has been, I would say, below average this year, but he is 7-2, so I guess he's not totally costing his team games. Shed Lawn leads it off as he hits this one high and deep into center. It goes to the track, but is caught by Straw. The runner will score off the sac fly. That's Bowman, and the Orioles will tie this game up at 3 apiece. That'll now bring up Adley Rutschman with the home run in his previous at-bat. Going to try to add another one here, and he will not. Instead, grounding it right to J.P. Crawford, who flips it into Altuve. Over to Scott Murray for another double play. The Orioles have grounded into at least 3 double plays today, it feels like. But they do score in that inning. It's not a total disaster. This game tied at 3 going into the 6th. Murray up at the plate. 2-2 pitch. Hits this one nicely into right field for a base hit. Heston Kjerstad is unable to get to it quick enough, so that'll be a double. The first base hit that Will Brooks allows of the day. And now there's a runner in scoring position. Murray with his second double of the ball game, and that's a huge opportunity here for the offense as this one is grounded to second. A barehanded play by Shed Lawn to get the out. Great defense there by Lawn. Runner does advance to third. A big opportunity here for Jeff McNeil, who goes down looking on the fastball. Big strikeout by Will Brooks to get out of the inning. 2 scoreless for Brooks, and it remains tied at 3. He is fired up going back to the dugout. Louis St. John up here in the bottom of the 6th with 1 away. Rips that one past Zach Wheeler for a base hit, and St. John will get aboard for the 2nd time today, and we'll see if he can score and put Baltimore back on top. St. John advances his hit streak as well. As good as he's been power-wise, I know I've said it multiple times this year, but his contact and ability to get on base has been way improved this season compared to previous years of his career. And then Nick Castellanos gets the hat trick, his 3rd hit of the game. That's a double into the left field corner. He is safe at 2nd. LSJ is safe at 3rd. And now there's a pair of runners in scoring position. The Orioles have an easy opportunity to take the lead, maybe take a multi-run lead, as Ryan Mountcastle grounds it to 2nd. Altuve makes the play to 1st pretty easily, but Louis St. John does score, so it's not a total failure of an at-bat for Mountcastle. And it is now a 4-3 ball game as we go to the 7th. Will Brooks still in as he faces off against Eduardo Escobar, who hits that one into left center. Some miscommunication between St. John and Bowman, but Xavier Bowman will get to it. Another really good inning for Will Brooks, who's pitched 3 so far today, but maybe the Orioles are going to try to keep him in for 1 more. Into the 8th now, indeed, no pitching change. Will Brooks is still in for his 4th inning as he gets Altuve to go down looking on the outside pitch. That was a full count, too, so a really unfortunate play there for Altuve and a big strikeout for Will Brooks. With 1 away, this one is singled into center field. That's Miles Straw, the speedster, with the base hit. And a nice opportunity here for Alvarez, who goes down looking on the changeup. Another strikeout for Will Brooks, who gets the best batter in this Houston lineup out. And then Scott Murray lines it to first, caught by Carmen Sixto. 4 scoreless innings for Will Brooks, who really looked like an all-star today. 4-3 your score here in the middle of the 8th as we go to the bottom half of the inning. Baltimore going to try to get some insurance for their closer Edwin Diaz, and they do exactly that. Big ding Lenny Lang with a moonshot into right field. Home run number 33 on the season, which passes his teammate Louis St. John. And now Lenny Lang has sole possession of the home run crown. A beautiful swing there by Lang as the Orioles extend their lead by 2. They now lead this game 5-3. Nick Castellanos here is not done. Currently 3 for 3 on the day. Going to try to make it 4 for 4. What a showing coming out of the All-Star break here from Nick Castellanos, who slides into second base safely with a double. The Orioles might be up by a comfortable 2 runs, but they clearly are not done. They have more tricks up their sleeve. With that, the Astros choose to make a pitching change. It'll be Ryan Stanek, who checks in for the Stros, a 4.55 ERA, and he would get out of the inning successfully. So now it's Edwin Diaz in for the save. This would be his 21st of the year if successful. With 1 away, Jeff McNeil singles into center field. We've seen quite a few games this year with big go-ahead home runs against Edwin Diaz. Hopefully this is not one of them, as the Astros now have the chance to do it, and they won't. J.P. Crawford with 2 away strikes out, and the Orioles win this one by the final score of 5-3. And after the first day of the second half of the year, the Orioles have now surpassed the Astros for the best record in baseball. Even if it's only by half a game, technically we are better than them now. Overall, a pretty solid win. Not a blowout by any stretch, but I do feel like we were the better team. Jose Urquidy allowed a little bit too many base runners throughout, and it ended up biting him in the butt. Now, we did not always capitalize when runners were on base, but we did what we had to do. Home runs for Rutschman and Ling. Will Brooks was unbelievable in his 4 innings. Edwin Diaz as well did a good job of finishing this one off. So shout out to our 2 All-Stars in the bullpen for really playing well to help us get the win. So we're now going to simulate to this series on the road in Philadelphia against the Phillies, who are fighting for an NL wildcard spot. So we're going to sim the remainder of the Astros series and then 3 games against the Yankees. We got a pretty big trade here. Jesus Luzardo to the Cardinals for a couple prospects. And now we're getting offered some deals as well. The Royals want to give us Jace Vines, who has an ERA of 5 in AAA this year, so no, I'm not interested. The Rangers are trying to trade us Seth Romero, who hasn't been a whole lot better. So, again, I don't really see a reason to do that. If we're going to make a move, we're going to get someone good. So we would end up sweeping the Astros, believe it or not, but we only took 1 of 3 at home against the red-hot New York Yankees. I do want to point out, in the game we won, not only did Xavier Bowman go deep twice, but Tristan McKenzie pitched a 9-inning complete game shutout, allowing only 2 base runners. Good work. Of course, the next game we lost 11-3. Matthew Thompson struggled in this one. So in Thompson's 3 starts, he's only really had 1 good game so far. I wanted to play the second game of this Philly series for one reason. Because German Marquez can rake. He's one of the best hitting pitchers in baseball. If you remember last year in a game in Atlanta, we hit a home run with him. And look at this. We have a really big trade within our division. Jason Dominguez to the Red Sox for Chris Sale and Ken Giles. So why are the Yankees trading their prized 21-year-old prospect to their arch nemesis for 2 players over the age of 34? I don't know. We do beat the Phillies in Game 1, but that trade completely blows my mind, and the Yankees were playing so well, too. I just don't get it. It baffles me. So let's get into Game 2 of this 3-game set at Philadelphia. The Phillies have one of their shortstop prospects making their Major League debut. It's Jamison Cortland III, who can absolutely rake. I think he has like 97 power against lefties, and his power against righties ain't too much worse either, so we'll have to look out for him, especially at a hitters-friendly Citizens Bank ballpark as we take a look at both lineups for this game. Of course, no DH. We will get to see German Marquez swing the stick a couple times today. On the mound for the 51-46 Phillies will be Spencer Howard. His 9th start of the year. He's been pretty good so far. 3.2 ERA, 1.13 whip. Overall, a solid season so far for Howard. Xavier Bowman, who has been crushing it since the second half of the season began, takes a big swing and a miss on the curveball. Nice strikeout there for Walker. And that'll bring up Lenny Lang, who is currently hitting .353. He has not slowed down since the start of the second half of the year, as that one gets by the diving glove of the center fielder, Bellinger, and that'll go for a double. The Phillies have spent a ton of money on this team, signing players like Cody Bellinger, Pete Alonso, Shohei Ohtani, who is actually injured at the moment, yet they're still only 5 games above 500 because they are the Phillies. Louis St. John gets that one to drop into center, and that's going to be a double. Great hustle there by St. John. That ball was in the air so much that St. John was able to get to second, but I don't really know what Cody Bellinger was doing out there in center. He could have easily made that play had he hustled to the ball, but I guess Cody Bellinger is high on the clouds doing something else. So that'll now bring up Nick Castellanos, who, of course, we just saw went 4 for 4 in the previous game that we played. He goes down looking on the high fastball. A good start, though. Louis St. John drives in a run off of the double, and it's 1-0. So here is German Marquez, who is making his 20th start of the year. He's, of course, pitched very well once again, facing off against Jorge Padilla, who is going to go see ya, striking out on the inside fastball. Nice pitch by German Marquez. Into the second inning now, 1-0 your score. Ryan Mountcastle up, and he's going to bloop this one into right center. It will go for a hit. So to start the inning, the Orioles get themselves another base runner aboard, and we'll see if they can continue these early stretches of hits to do some damage. Shed Long is now up at the plate, 1-2 pitch, and he rips this one over the glove of the second baseman, Padilla. So now the Orioles have 2 runners on, and still nobody out, keep in mind. A big opportunity here for the bottom of this Baltimore lineup, and that starts with Jalen Miller, who grounds it right to third. Boom, to Padilla, over to Pete Alonso, and the Phillies turn the double play. The inning is still alive, and there's still a runner on third, but it's going to be up to the pitcher, German Marquez. Now, we know he can hit, and he rips this one pretty nicely into center field, but it will be caught by Cody Bellinger, and unfortunately the Orioles are unable to score anybody here in the second inning, as the game will remain 1-0. Bottom 2, it's Big Meat Pete, who takes a big swing and miss A nice strikeout there for German Marquez, his second of the game. Good start for Marquez. He's pitched 2 perfect innings so far as we go to the third. Adley Rutschman goes down looking. That looked like it was out of the zone, but the umpire behind the dish says otherwise. A big strikeout there as we look at that one again. Nice pitch from Howard. Xavier Bowman is now up. Grounds this one to short. Jamison Cortland, the rookie, in his debut misses the throw. Although Cortland can hit nukes, he's also not a great defender, showing off his lack of defensive ability there on that play. And now Lenny Ling is up to bat. 3-1 pitch. That one is grounded past the diving glove of Pete Alonso for a single. Lenny Ling's second hit of the game, and now there's a pair of runners on here for Louis St. John. He hits this one high, deep, into center field. Bellinger back at the wall, and it will be caught. But the Orioles will get their runner, Xavier Bowman, to move up to third. So now there's 2-1, 2 out for Nick Castellanos.
I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game.
You heard the man. The Orioles take a 4-0 lead, courteous of a 3-run blast by Nick Castellanos. A huge home run there for the Orioles. Castellanos has been on fire coming out of the All-Star break, continuing his hot stretch here with a huge home run as the Orioles extend their lead. And, of course, we get the great call from our good friend Tom Brenneman, who did not say anything offensive before this game. No, totally not. If you're a real baseball fan, you get the meme. So now we go to the bottom of the third. Jamison Cortland's first Major League at-bat. He strikes out on the knuckle curve. German Marquez is cruising so far as he tries to tie himself second in the win column with a win today. Rodani Baldwin, the catcher now, hits this one nicely into center field for a base hit. So the Phillies now have their first runner aboard. The perfect game is dead. But unfortunately for them, that would bring up the pitcher who would be out. And then Alec Bohm, who weakly flies this one into shallow center. It's caught by Shed Lawn. 3 scoreless so far here for German Marquez. And the start of this game has gone quite well for the Baltimore Orioles as we advance forward. And we'll see if Spencer Howard can pick up his play. He did have a good 4th inning as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Jorge Padilla opens things up with a single. So the Phillies get themselves another base runner. And now they're starting to hit the ball a little bit better, I suppose. We'll see if it leads to anything. Yastrzemski grounds that one down the first base line. Lenny Ling will make the play. Normally Lenny Ling is not in the field, but since this is a National League ballpark, he does have to play some defense as he gets the out. We go to the 5th inning now. Not a ton of offensive action the past couple of innings. Both pitchers are really finding themselves in a groove as Hazel flies out to center, caught by Bowman. German Marquez has obviously been pitching in a gem all day, and Spencer Howard has had back-to-back good innings as he would be removed before the start of the 6th inning. Matthew Liberatore will check in his place, his 11th appearance of the season, and he would get through the Orioles lineup pretty easily. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. Bryce Harper flies out to center, caught by Xavier Bowman. Another scoreless inning from German Marquez. And this has turned into a pitcher's duel. There's been virtually no offense the past 3 or so innings as this game remains 4-1, and we go to the 7th. Matthew Liberatore still on the mound as he faces off against Jalen Miller. Hey, this one looks like it'll be a base hit, and indeed it is. Finally, a sign of life here from the Orioles offense, who's basically gone extinct since the Nick Castellanos home run. Coincidence? I think not. German Marquez will stay in the game for an at-bat, and he rips this one into left field for a single. So the decision to keep the pitcher in at the plate just would work out, and after that, the Orioles would replace Marquez, and they would put in Ivan Cortes Jr. as a pinch runner. So this says that the Orioles trust one of their pitchers, German Marquez, at the plate, more than Ivan Cortes Jr. And to be honest, Marquez is kind of a better hitter. Looks like the Phillies are a little bit intimidated by the speedster Cortes, as there's now runners on the corners. Bowman will go down looking on the fastball. A nice strikeout for Liberatore. 4 straight consecutive scoreless innings here from the Phillies, but they are still down by 3 as the Orioles do make a pitching change. Cosmo Cruz will enter for his 20th game of the year, and since being called up to the bigs, he's been quite impressive, I've got to say. Pete Alonso opens up the inning drawing a walk, so the Phillies now get themselves an early base runner. That'll bring up Cody Bellinger, who grounds out one past Shed Lawn for a single into center field. Maybe the Orioles should have kept German Marquez in the game because he was cruising, and so far, Cosmo Cruz is not. but Cruz would get out of the inning. Rodani Baldwin strikes out. So a good job there by Cruz to get out of the jam as it remains 4-1. Julian Starnes is now in here in the bottom of the 8th inning, trying to keep this comfortable lead here for Baltimore as he faces off against Rafael Marchand, who goes down looking on the curveball. Baltimore's bullpen doing a pretty good job. Obviously, their pitching this entire game has been pretty much flawless as we go to the 9th. Vince Velasquez will check in for the Barrettor, who threw 3 really strong scoreless innings. With one away, Shed Lawn hits a gapper into left center. That'll go for extra bases. The left fielder with some extracurricular activity there, as that'll be a double for Lawn. Now the Orioles have a runner in scoring position. They do lead by a nice 3 runs, and Philadelphia's offense has done nothing today, but I guess Baltimore wants to widen their lead, and that they're going to do. Jalen Miller with a 2-run shot into left field, and the Orioles now lead this game 6-1. Homer number 7 on the year for Miller the Killer, as Baltimore now leads by 5. A beautiful swing there by Jalen Miller. 2 gone now for Adley Rutschman, who hits this one high and deep. And this baby will not be gone, but it will be a double. So Rutschman is now in scoring position. The Orioles offense still does not appear to be done. Baltimore leads the American League in doubles, now at 184, as Xavier Bowman is now up at the plate for the O's, and he lines this one nicely into left field. That one will bounce in front of a wall. Rutschman scores a double for Xavier Bowman, and the Orioles offense, as you can see, is not yet done in this inning. They now lead this ball game 7-1, and Vince Velasquez would have to be taken out. Scott Barlow will check in his place as he faces off against Carmen Sixto, who's pinch hitting for Lenny Lang, who has had an eventful day actually playing defense. Sixto singles it into center field. That'll go for a hit. Xavier Bowman will score, and the Orioles put up a 4 spot here in the 9th inning to pretty much put this game out of reach for Philadelphia. Rather than needing the closer, Edwin Diaz, instead it'll be Felix Rosa who checks in the game. 3-2 count here for Bellinger with 2 away, grounds it to second. Shed Lawn makes the play. A 1-2-3 inning there for Rosa. And the Baltimore Orioles win this game by the final score of 8-1. A big win on the road here for the O's as they get a nice victory here over the Philadelphia Phillies. A great showing from the pitching staff. The offense was fairly inconsistent. We started off hot, we ended off hot, but in the middle, we actually kind of struggled. But it was the pitching who won us this game. German Marquez was brilliant, and the bullpen did a great job as well. The Phillies bullpen, minus Vince Velasquez, I will say, was quite impressive too. So a good win there. We improved to 64-33, and we're going to simulate up to the trade deadline. So that's the final game in Philadelphia in the first 3 games of a 4-game set in New York, as we have another big trade. Emerson Hancock going from Seattle to Detroit in exchange for Jacob Amaya and another prospect, Guillermo Baez. So the Tigers, as you can see, going for that playoff spot as we have made it to the trade deadline. Our Orioles are 65-36. We do not do very well in that 4-game stretch, but we do still lead the division, although there is a new challenger right on our tails. The Yankees have passed Toronto for second place. They are still 7 behind us. But we have a big trade deadline coming up. I think this team has what it takes to make a World Series run, but we might just need that final piece or two. And we definitely have the farm system to possibly go ahead and make some moves. Let me know what you think we should do this year for trade deadline. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. Peace out.